Minister. I'm glad to see Minister O'Gorman is here. Childcare care is in crisis, Minister. And next week, childcare across the country have been left with no choice but to go on a strike in just election and close their doors because negotiations seem to have fallen down, broken down completely with Minister O'Gorman. I'm glad he's here, he can answer. And also the fact this new model, the core funding, one size doesn't fit all. And that's quite evident before ever you had this core model, but you haven't dealt with it. Childcare providers, I said, will close their doors next week. That will put savage pressure on ordinary families, working families again, who will be scrambling to get childcare in order that they can go to work. It will have an impact, a knock-on impact on businesses and functions of people working. So you need to get seriously involved here, Minister, and resolve this situation, because it's mainly it's worse in rural areas and smaller providers. They are particularly hit hardest by this core funding model that you've introduced. That, as I said, one size doesn't fit all, and it's quite obvious here and evident. So, will you do something to try and avert this closure next week of these many creches all over the country, and the knock-on impact it will have on children and their parents in the workplace?
Thank you, Deputy. Minister.
Thanks, Deputy. We held the Early Years Forum event yesterday, where we had representatives from groups representing childcare providers, childcare professionals and many others working in the sector. It was a really positive meeting. We discussed core funding. We discussed the scale of the investments that this government has added. We discussed the changes that we made in year 2, recognising, and you're right, Deputy, one size doesn't fit all. So that's why we created in year 2 a dedicated payment just for those small services, those ECCE-only services, which is what we were able to do with the extra money we got invested in year 2. So we'll continue to provide support to all services, large and small, but I would call on those services who are considering a closure next week. I don't believe it's warranted. We've secured major investment up to this point. We want to continue that investment, and I'd ask all groups in the sector to work with me, work with my department, so we can bring through those reforms and continue this investment.